How are you there, comrades? Today I have decided that we should start praying for North Korea. At least I'm beginning to pray for North Korea. You think Zimbabwe is here? Wait until you are born a North Korean citizen in your next life. That place is here on earth. Kim Jong Un is 20 times worse than Mnangagwa. But the trouble thing is that Kim Jong Un and the state of repression in North Korea is the trajectory that Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF are taking us to. A state where even the support of the regime is manufactured, forced, it is fake, it is a means of survival. Truth be told, 95% of the people that vocally support ZANU-PF would stop supporting it if they actually were living in a free and fair and democratic country. 99% of ZANU-PF people could not even support Mnangagwa 2030. 99% of those people that were screaming at the conference could not even scream if they had a choice and there were no repercussions for whatever choice. But they were fearing the thugs of Mnangagwa. This kind of repression, I've seen Zimbabwe dying in the past 20, 30 years that I've known the country. I've seen it regressing. Even society is morphing into something strange. We do know that North Korea is the same country that trained the 5th Brigade in the 80s that was involved in Kukrawund, killing between 20,000 to 100,000 people in Matipelele. And President Mnangagwa and this Deputy General Chiwenga were part of that machinery. You can see that this training of North Korea is sort of like a religious training. It changes your mindset, your outlook of life, and how you view other people. Kim Jong-un views himself as a god, and he believes he owns the people of North Korea, and he even owns the oxygen in North Korea, and people live or exist at the mercy of the president. Mnangagwa is not there yet, but the actions and the direction that he's taking shows me that this is the pattern of where we are going. In North Korea, even the borders are closed. At least Zimbabwe is still lucky that you can still get out of the country and go to other nations. We're bringing North Korea into the conversation back again because North Korea is again involved in global geopolitics, with North Korea sending soldiers into Russia to aid Russia's war against Ukraine. And evidence gathered, intelligence gathered, has shown that North Korea has been supplying Russia with missiles and other war equipment in exchange for Russian food, perhaps some level of some Russian technologies and other raw materials from Russia. We know that North Korea is under United Nations sanctions, and Russia is actually breaching international law by engaging North Korea. But this is Moscow's desperate move. Now, is it possible that North Korea's engagement in this war might provide an opportunity for us, rather the world, the international community, to crush them in Russia, to crush them through that war? It is said that they are manning the border between Ukraine and Russia. If we crush them in Russia, it will weaken the defenses of North Korea. And as their relations with South Korea is weakening, we need a weak North Korea so that eventually the people of North Korea can be free from Kim Jong Un. That man is evil. That man is a devil himself. The torture, the level of torture and repression in that country. Speaking about Jesus is not permitted. That's a death sentence in North Korea. As Christians, we need to pray for the salvation of North Korea. Those people in North Korea do not even know what life is like outside North Korea. All they are fed with is national propaganda that elevates their president as God. Not even lying, as God. He's viewed as a God, as the creator and owner of everything. Imagine that. And people are not allowed to get out of the country. And we've got a Zimbabwean president who has got a history with this country and is ideologically connected to Kim, including his deputy that people now are going crazy over, General Chiwenga, also is ideologically linked to the North Korean ideology of state repression. These gentlemen, Mnangagwa and Chiwenga and the military generals, they believe in state repression. They believe that given positions of power in government, it means that you are almost a godlike figure and therefore you must repress people. And people, they must be here by you. They are not reformed or refined to understand that state authority is service to nation. It doesn't make you a god. It gives you a responsibility to partake in the upkeep, general upkeep, and general improvement of the people's lives, that nation. But they view it differently. What can you expect from people that got trained in North Korea? They view human beings or citizens of a country as subjects that they can use to their liking. You are essentially slaves. You are serfs. You are a product that they use, just like there's gold and diamonds on the ground. They believe the people as well are just their capital, if you were to put it that way, to use as they believe, as they deserve. They believe they deserve you as a Zimbabwean. General Chiwenga and Mnangagwa and the military generals, they believe they own you. They believe that you have got no right to say anything. As I'm making these videos and speaking about a free Zimbabwe, they think I'm crazy because they believe that they own me. Because I've got a Zimbabwean passport and a Zimbabwean ID, they believe that I've got no right whatsoever to contribute anything in my country because they are the leaders of the country. Leaders of the country, let me remind you something. You are leaders of the country, not owners of the country. I am a part owner. So are the other 16 million Zimbabweans. We are all equal owners of the country. You are not God. It is God who gave you that opportunity, that responsibility to lead us. You do not own us. I do not owe you an explanation, General Chiwenga, why I am making these videos on YouTube every day. It's none of your concern. Yes, sir. I do not owe you an opportunity to come and explain myself to you, Mnangagwa, as to why I'm doing what I'm doing or why I'm saying what I'm saying. It is my country, it is my right to do what I do. It is your duty to protect me and to ensure that I and 16 million other Zimbabweans are safe, protected, and successful in life. Even if we insult you, even if we say things that you do not like, your job is to do what you have to do. If you cannot handle it, get out of the office. The office is not for you. The office is definitely not meant for you, because if you stay in the office, you become an oppressor with oppressive tendencies, and you'll be going towards the direction of North Korea. You must stop this thing, Mnangagwa, of thinking that you are God. All of you in Harare, you must stop this mindset of that we have, that you think that you own us. You never fought for this country. You never won for this country. Some of us are reading and you are studying the books that were written in the 60s or that are set in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. We now know what happened during the war. None of you people of ZANU-PF, that so-called liberation war heroes, you did not, most of you who are now currently leading, you did not fight for us. You're fighting for yourselves, your selfishness. Even in the 70s, I remember making a prophecy a year ago when God said to me, son, these people started committing sins in the 70s. I didn't understand. I think it was 12 months or so ago, last year. I didn't understand what the Lord meant by crimes since the 1970s, because I only knew about the Kukrahondi. I thought God was going to say it was from 1982. He said, no, from the 1970s. So I went to dig and I've read books, what they were doing in the 1970s, the killings, Herbert Chitepo, Pararenyatwa, all of those guys that were killed in the 70s. It was all contestation for power, for selfishness, for self-preservation, not for country. Most of the times, these guys that keep on talking about the war, most of the times they're not fighting. They were in camps, somewhere in USA, learning, somewhere in foreign camps where they were refugees, but they're not really fighting. They're just there in camps. Some were even doing businesses in other countries, and when the country was free, they came and bought houses in Borodale. They just became rich. And by the way, the war was not won. Britain, through Lancaster House Agreement, decided to give the country freely to ZANU-PF, to Robert Mugabe, because Robert Mugabe was appealing to British foreign policy at that time instead of Joshua Mqabi Wonkomo and maybe and the others. Simple as that. So don't lord over us. Don't put this thing over our head that Tagaruranyika, we fought for the country. You did not. Even if we did not fight for that country, it was going to come anyway. Zambia and Malawi didn't go to war, but Britain gave them independence nonetheless. Britain was eventually going to grant independence to black majority rule in Zimbabwe. Just like in South Africa, black majority rule was achieved, but they did not go to war. So do not keep on loading us with this rhetoric of takarwa kuhondo, takaenda kuhondo, we went to war, so we must always listen to you like we owe you allegiance because we went to war. We don't owe you any allegiance whatsoever. The country is ours. We were born in a country in which the British monarchy gave us the opportunity for majority rule, not ZANU-PF minority rule, not Mafidi dynasty minority rule, but the majority rule of all Zimbabweans. Those are the terms of the Lancaster House Agreement. But the sinful men in ZANU-PF thought it was not enough. That is why in the 80s they got involved in political persecution of their political opponents, which was ZAPU, and that led to the death of thousands of people in Matebeleland. It was not the first time these guys were doing this thing. If you study history from the perspective of from the source of school textbooks, you would think that these guys were peacefully coexisting in the 60s and 70s until the 1980s. There was no peaceful coexistence. It was tumultuous. That's why there was always breakups of ZAPU, ZANU, Frenola, whatever, the other many other parties. These people were murderers, killing each other for positions of power so that they can have control of state resources. Once they get control of state resources, they they crush everybody else in the country. They crush the whole economy just to line their own pockets. They've been doing it in the 60s. They've been doing it in the 70s. Even white people that were in the Smith government, when they spoke against these black politicians that should they be given power, they will destroy the country. But because of ZANU-PF propaganda, they were told that no, these guys are just racist who don't want to see black people rule. But they were saying the truth. They've seen the colors, the true colors of who you are. They've seen that you're not the caliber of people that can take us forward. We are grown now. We're the children of Zimbabwe. We are born free. We have come of age now. We now understand issues. We are all over the world. We understand issues even on a global scale, on a global level. And we're here to tell you, Mnangagwa and General Chiwenga and military generals, stop threatening us with death, stop threatening us with torture, stop threatening us with going to jail, stop threatening us with other ideology of North Korea. We are the new generation. We understand differently. We understand the dynamics of democracy. We understand our human rights. We understand how to live in a global village with other countries and also and also claim our right to development even as a nation. So izo ukuthi zokusethuselela sokusebenza ngabe lokho lisethusela ngento ezingekhoyo. Stop threatening us. Asinisabi. We respect you, but we're not afraid of you. Fear is not in us. Just because we are non-violent does not mean that we are fools. This is not 1970s. This is 2024. And this is a different breed that you're dealing with. Will you please stop what you're doing? Please, sir. We ask you nicely. Please, gentlemen. Both in the Presidium, in Parliament, in the ZANU-PF Politburo, in the Zimbabwe military, in the whole security cluster of Zimbabwe. Please, I beg you, stop doing what you're doing. 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 This is 2024. We have got resources we have got no clue of. We have got ways and means that are beyond your logic. I warn you again, stop doing what you're doing. Stop it, sir. Stop it, please. Set the people free. Allow the people to have a free country. What's wrong with you? We are not going to turn into a North Korea. The generation that I am part of will not allow you to turn our country into a North Korea because of a friendship with the Iranians, with the Russians, and the Chinese that are willing to allow you to repress us because they too are running repressive regimes. We can now read through the propaganda, say, we've got ChatGPT, we've got Google search, we've got YouTube, we've got we've got university degrees and PhDs all over the we are well traveled, we know stuff. Stop lying to us, ZANU-PF. Stop lying to us. We know what we are. We know what you are. We know what we deserve. We know what is rightfully ours, and we know what you are denying us. And we know what weapons you're using against us. And I'm telling you that I told you we have got means and ways that are beyond your comprehension. So I'm asking you nicely, stop doing what you're doing. This is 2024. This is not 1970s. When you people used to fight repression by going to the bushes and taking guns and doing guerrilla warfare. We don't do guerrilla warfare to you. I said we've got modern means and ways of reaching out, of expressing ourselves, and of empowering ourselves with truth and glory that will set us free from your shackles. Hence, I ask you nicely, please set Zimbabwe free. Says, I repeat, please set Zimbabweans free. Idi Mnangagwa, General Chiwenga, Valerio Sivanda, Senyato, all of you, my Mnangagwa, Collins Mnangagwa. Stop what you're doing, Collins. Stop this thing of yours going around and extorting people. It will not end well for you. It will end really badly. Stop what you're doing. Owen Ngobe, stop what you're doing. Stop criminalizing our young people. Stop turning them into a gang of terrorists. For they are not terrorists. They are victims of your repression, the manufactured poverty, so that you can abuse their state, so that you can abuse their circumstances for your own evil personal gain. ZANU-PF as an institution should cease to exist. And even the cartels operating within ZANU-PF should surrender. For I told you, we have got ways and means. This is 2024. This is not 1970s. We are globally connected. Even ourselves, we are connected. So for the last time, I'm going to ask you nicely. Takuray and those that back you up in government, please says, stop what you're doing so that we can allow us to build a nice country for us and our posterity. Have a great day. God bless Zimbabwe.